What are ABCs or alien big cats? To answer that question, I think we're going to have to visit our friends across the pond to hopefully get an answer. When you think of England's nature, usually the first thing that comes to mind is not large predators, because according to all wildlife data, they're simply not there. And that's why today we're talking about cases of huge cats that are typically seen in the African savanna or in American forests that have plagued the country for literal years. Going back to the mid 19th century, one of the favorite pastimes of British citizens have been listening to tales of hunters talk about the large and dangerous animals in far off exotic lands. The fascination with these tales are simple. These kinds of animals simply do not exist in their home country. And the stories being told sounded like that of a fantasy novel, and that's why when we hear reports about large predators like leopards in the Great Territory of Great Britain, our ears tend to perk up. Now, in my opinion, probably the most famous ABC story was the puma from Surrey, which was a very popular topic back in the 60s. The puma was spotted by Ernest Gillette, who was a water management official that was tasked with controlling the fish ponds. The sighting took place on July 16, 1962, when he saw a giant cat hunting a rabbit, and he provided a very accurate description. He claimed that the animal was beige in color and resembled a small lion. He also said it didn't have a bushy tail, so he assumed that it was probably a puma. Unlike most cases of this nature, the police were actually notified. A report was even published, stating that traces of a large predator living in that area had been discovered. This account would later be published in a local newspaper, and suddenly a flurry of reports came in. Many people had seen the same or a similar animal, but they didn't report it out of fear of being mocked or ridiculed, which is often common in these cases. This continued for around 2 years. That's when the workers on the Bushy Lease farm spoke of a large cat making a terrifying noise. After investigating, a cow was found nearby torn to pieces by an unknown animal. A vet was even called to the scene and could not identify the teeth marks. And then in 1964, reports of ABCs had become so common that local farmers organized a hunt for the mysterious creatures. And while no animal was ever captured or killed, there was plenty of additional evidence to support that a large cat did indeed live in the area. Once the news had spread, weekly reports of sightings became common, and there was a real-life safari that had formed with well-equipped hunters arriving in large numbers, hoping to shoot the exotic cat. But as quickly as it arrived, the cat also vanished. So now we have to ask ourselves the question, where did the puma in England come from? Well, in 1964, a careful count of exotic predators living in Great Britain was made, and to the surprise of most people, 23 pumas were found to have lived there. Now, it was said that they were all under careful supervision and that none had escaped, so it's entirely possible that the one in Surrey had been smuggled in illegally. And if that was the case, it probably happened in 1958 because the reports of an unusual lynx started in that area in 1959. And puma can easily survive in that area, especially Surrey. There's an ample food source, there's no predators, and the country is overgrown with forests, so hiding and living in safety for many years isn't out of the question. So if we combine all that with the puma's natural ability to adapt to different landscapes, along with the fact that the climate of the area is milder than that of the United States, one could almost say that the puma would have an ideal living environment in England. But not all ABCs can be explained so easily. You can see this with the Beast of Bodmin when a large cat wreaked absolute havoc on the Cornwall's livestock. There was even a film made about it in 1933, showing an animal that looks a bit like a black panther. So that leaves us with a question. What exactly are ABCs? Honestly, I have no idea, and theories about this one are everywhere. From them wandering into our reality from nowhere, to local elites biting off more than they can chew buying brand new exotic pets. So what do you guys think? I really want to know your thoughts on this one, because for now, and for tonight, I think we're going to have to add the mystery of the alien big cats, or ABCs, to our never-ending, but always growing Tales from the Dark.